What's up? It's day 35 of the FST-7 Lean Bulk Challenge, our wrap up for week 5, and our entry to the final week 6. It's wild. It has at some points felt like I've been doing this for so long, but at some points, especially on the weekly wrap ups, makes it feel like that the challenge has been moving so fast. But we're here, final week. We just got one more week wrap up next Sunday where we're gonna submit our before and after pictures and then wait for the results. But so this is our last wrap up where we can make any changes at all, where we can analyze our past, conceptualize a new plan, and implement it on this final week, because after that, it's over. So let's start off by jumping into the weight progression from week 5, and then as always comparing from our start to now. So as of right now, before hopping on the bike, we're at 179.5 pounds with 16.2% body fat. Let's check out the overall growth from this week. We went up 3.7 pounds, starting at 175. Had some big peaks and valleys this week, mostly due to the holiday. Our high was 181. Then again, right now, 179.5. For our body fat this week, we went up a 0.8%. Now let's check out the entire time. Our weight change so far, we've gone up 11 pounds. Our highest was still, as it shows, that 181.1. And again, our start weight was 168. And we've been just coasting up and down, but a steady up throughout the entire time. To again, today's 179.5. And then our body fat overall, 2.3%. At the start of the challenge, we were at 13.9%. Our highest of 16.5. And again, today's 16.2. And overall, with those numbers, I mean, they are what they are. I know in all the other weekly progressions I was saying that body weight increase, when comparing it with my own visual assessment in the mirror, I wasn't seeing too much fluff and or fat. But to be honest, I don't know if it's the body dysmorphia kicking in now or what. I don't feel as it's the same anymore. Now, I didn't go and completely just beer belly it out or anything like that, but I don't know, I feel like the mass in my eyes today looks a little bit different. And it can, right? Because overall, when I was 7 pounds up to 11 pounds today, it's obvious. More is, you're gonna see it, right? You're not gonna be able to tell the little 1 pound to 2 pounds to 3 pounds, but looking at it 11 pounds later, you're gonna spot some differences. So again, we just have this final week. I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical of how should I continue this week. Sticking to the same as far as diet goes, maybe dialing it back just a little bit. I guess we'll see what I weigh in and what I look like tomorrow morning, and then I'll make my decision then. The thing is that with these holidays and winter break, my activity level, as far as what I would have gotten while at going to work, that work activity level got deleted for the duration of this holiday. So that was what I was wondering and trying to double check this past week was, am I now gonna be eating too much in comparison to the amount of calories I'm burning, let's say last week, when everything in my daily routine was exactly the same. And for this final week, that drop in the work activity that I would get is also not gonna be there. So that's where I'm getting a little into the gray area where I'm not 100% sure. Should I dial it back a little bit on calories? Should I stay the same? I guess the part that I'm most afraid of is if I reduce calories, will I reduce fullness as well? Will I get a little bit more flat? And I don't want to be flat at the end. I want to be as full as possible to show that lean bulk, muscle mass gained, right? So, again, I might play it day by day, rearrange some of my snacks that I have built into my diet purposely for reasons like this, where you can have your non-negotiable meals at select times that consist of your overall nutrition, and then the snacks are easily movable around the day. Save the snacks to the very end, i.e. a protein bar and a yogurt or something, right? If you're regularly having that midday, lunchtime snack, you know, those 200 to 400 calories, save them. The very end of the day, check based on my Apple Watch what I've burnt for the day. If the numbers are showing too low in comparison to what I was gonna eat, might not eat those snacks that day. If they look about average, half the snacks, all the snacks. So I'm gonna be playing it day by day, try to get that spot on. Again, or it could just be me, body dysmorphia kicking in, and I'm low-key exactly the same that I was last week and the week before, but now it's the final week and my mind's playing tricks. I don't know. But now as far as training goes, you might have noticed, I think I mentioned it as well in one of the videos from this past week, I switched up 2 training days. So legs are on Fridays, shoulders and traps are on Wednesdays. I swapped them because I wanted to test this past week the soreness on my legs. Will typically be sore for a lot longer than my shoulders and traps will. And because Friday being so close and or just 2 days away from the final day when you need to pose down and take your after pictures, I don't know about you guys, but almost always it's harder for me to flex and pose my legs, you know, after the pump and or when you're sore. You're sore, it hurts, right? So I don't want to have that soreness interfere with my posing in my after pictures. So I thought, well, swap it, put legs more in the beginning of the week, and we have a longer time to recover. And then by Sunday, I'll be ready to pose without any soreness. It's probably just the bike, but my legs are fucking pumping right now. That was the only change as far as workouts went for this past week. Apart from like how I said, for the entire week 5, I was trying to find ways to up the intensity. And if you've followed along and seen the other workouts compared to this week's workouts, you will have noticed some differences in them. Again, whether it's drop sets, bonus sets, flex sets, myo rep matches, every way, depending on the muscle group and what I was feeling and how I was feeling, I implemented that. But so moving on into the final week, I think I will go back just to the standard, what the FST-7 program is saying that we do. Just follow it to not overly destroy any muscle group, and then in the end be too sore to not be able to flex and pose down, and it affect my after pictures. And while yes, every rep, every set, workout, day, week, month, year, in combination adds up to overall transformation and progress towards your physique. I don't know how much of a difference this last week will make for the after pictures, right? For example, the next back day, the standard amount of work for that back workout versus pushing it a little bit more. How much would that little bit more give me as far as like size and noticeable difference 3 days later for my after pictures? Could it? Maybe. But again, then I risk being too sore, even if I got that 1% more muscle growth, but I couldn't show it as best as I could on that day due to the extra. Was it worth it? Honestly, I don't think so. Most of the work has already been done. We climbed, and now it's time to just stay up here, right? We went from down here, jumped up 11 pounds. Now we really just gotta hold it to make sure that we can show that at the end. After that, we could go then from here to here with more time throughout all 2026, right? But as far as workout goes, that's that. The only one change I will make though, hopefully it plays out right. Again, due to soreness, typically these rest and recovery and cardio days for me are Thursdays and Sundays. Again, so I would work out Friday and Saturday. So the day before or yesterday was arms and calves. Arms typically get sore for me like 2 days later. So I was thinking to swap now just the rest days. So push everything Monday to Friday and have my rest day be Saturday and Sunday. So I can have all Saturday to completely recover. And then just a little bit of Sunday, right? Because on Sundays is the deadline, is due date. So versus coming in sore from yesterday, I was just thinking, swap that, give me one more day before to rest and recover. However, I'm still debating that one a little bit. We'll see, I guess, by next Thursday. If next Thursday is a workout day, or we're right back here on the bike, that is when we'll find out if I did rotate the recovery days or not. But I think that's all I got for the weekly wrap up as far as updates and changes go, to get through this final week as best as we can. We've been trusting up until this point. Just gotta continue trusting. Just that much more. So we got chest tomorrow. But until then, remember, always try your fucking best. Peace.